Every single time you open an app, search something online, or scroll through social media, companies are quietly building a detailed portfolio about you. Your location, your health, your finances, even your relationships. And even according to a 2023 Pew Research Center survey, 67% of Americans say they understand little to nothing about what companies actually do with that information. That number is not really surprising because companies don't want you to understand it. Today, I'm going to show you why that needs to change. The claims that I'm making today, they aren't opinions. They come from four primary sources. A 2024 Federal Trade Commission investigation of the biggest social media platforms in the country, the FTC's own 2023 enforcement update, IBM's annual cost of data breach report, and a national Pew survey of over 5,000 US adults. These are government reports, federal enforcement records, and peer-reviewed research, not blog posts. So here's my argument. The US government should pass stronger federal data privacy laws. Tech companies are collecting personal data without real consent. Current laws leave users exposed to serious harm, and stronger regulations would give people genuine control over their own information. Let's start with the problem. In 2024, the Federal Trade Commission released a landmark investigation into 9 of the biggest platforms, including Meta, YouTube, Amazon, TikTok, and others. What they found was disturbing. These companies weren't just fully collecting data when you use the app. They were purchasing additional data from brokers about people who had never even signed up. They were building portfolios combining your location, your health signals, your spending habits, and your social connections, and retaining all of it indefinitely. And here's why that makes that even more troubling. Most users have no real idea it's happening. According to Pew, 56% of Americans say they always or almost always agree to privacy policies without reading them. And why would they? These policies can run tens of thousands of words, written by legal teams whose job is to protect the company, not inform you. Clicking I agree is not informed consent. It's a forced choice between accepting surveillance or losing access to the service entirely. So, what is the law doing about it? Not enough. The United States has no comprehensive federal data privacy law. Only about 15 states have passed their own protections. The rest of the country has no meaningful legal shield. A bipartisan bill called the American Data Privacy and Protective Act passed the committee with broad support, but stalled in Congress. Meanwhile, the FTC itself said in its 2024 report that Congress needs to act. And the consequences of that inaction are measurable. According to IBM's 2024 Cost of Data Breach Report, which studied over 600 organizations globally, the average data breach now costs $4.88 million on all-time, which is an all-time high. That's a 10% jump from the year before. And nearly half of all breaches expose customer personal information, names, social security numbers, financial records, real people, real harm. So what would a real federal privacy law act actually look like? At a minimum, it would give you 4 things: the right to know what data is collected and who it's shared with, the right to delete your information on request, data minimization requirements so companies can only collect what's strictly necessary, and a real financial penalty when it's breached. And here's something remarkable. Americans across the political spectrum agree this needs to happen. According to Pew, 72% of Americans want more government regulations on what companies can do with personal data. That includes 78% of Democrats and 68% of Republicans. That kind of bipartisan consensus is rare. The public is ready. The question is whether Congress will act. So, let me bring it all together. We've covered 3 main points today. First, major tech platforms are engaged in large-scale data collecting that most users never truly consented to. Second, The absence of federal privacy laws mean Americans have almost no legal protection when the data is misused or breached. And third, a strong federal law with real enforcement would shift the balance of power back to everyday users. We should never accept a company walking into our homes, reading our mail, recording our conversations, and selling what they found to higher bidder. But that is essentially what is happening every time we go online. And the law is barely doing anything about it to stop it. It is time that changed. Thank you.